The galaxy had always feared the edge of known space, particularly the Sol system. The Altyr Coalition, a ruthless and highly advanced species, had long ignored Earth. They considered the system a backwater, its planet of little consequence, until rumors began to surface. No one who ventured near the Sol system ever seemed to return. Ships that entered were lost, communications were cut, and entire exploration fleets vanished. This wasn't just a galactic myth, it was a terrifying fact. And yet, with their endless thirst for expansion, the Altyr Coalition decided to finally investigate this death system for themselves. The Coalition's strategy was simple. Their military might, which had swept across hundreds of worlds, would easily overwhelm Earth. The humans were technologically primitive, with no faster-than-light travel, limited weapons, and no shielding or energy-based defenses to speak of. Admiral V'raeth of the Altyr Coalition surveyed the fleet, her mind already running through the mission. Her species had conquered countless worlds, and the Sol system was no different, merely a stepping stone in their grand design. She thought. Admiral V'raeth ordered,
"Prepare the invasion forces. Our intelligence suggests minimal resistance. We shall take this world in a solar rotation."
Shalith, her second-in-command, nodded.
"It will be easy, Admiral. The humans are fragile. We'll break their defenses in no time."
The Admiral mentally noted her second-in-command's courage, despite knowing of the Sol system's reputation. V'raeth stared at the star charts, her gaze fixed on the small blue planet that had caused so much trouble.
"No one ever returns from that region of space, Shalith. We'll see if Earth truly lives up to its reputation,"
she muttered, almost to herself. The fleet moved into position, its massive warships gliding silently toward Earth. V'raeth had no doubts. The humans wouldn't stand a chance. As the fleet moved through the first asteroid field, the Altyr forces were confident in their ability to navigate without issue. Their ships were equipped with advanced deflection systems designed to push aside or vaporize any incoming asteroids. Without warning, several of the Coalition ships were struck by large asteroids, tearing into their hulls and causing significant damage. Something went wrong. Though the crew members aboard those ships were quickly evacuated and saved using emergency escape pods, the loss of the ships was a rare and embarrassing blunder. Admiral V'raeth was furious, but she had no choice but to dismiss it as a mistake, attributed to the incompetence of those in charge of those ships. The fleet continued on its path, but the first signs of trouble had begun. As the days wore on, more seemingly unexplained accidents and mishaps began to plague the fleet, and the once sure-footed invasion seemed to falter, though the Admiral refused to acknowledge just how much the mission was starting to unravel. Never before had Admiral V'raeth ever failed or gave up on a mission, and she wasn't about to start now. Despite the setbacks, she still had a sizable fleet. Admiral V'raeth was determined, thought back to the intelligence reports. Surely no primitive race could stand up to their technological advancements. Finally arriving at Earth, whose inhabitants rule over the Sol system.
"Prepare for landing."
Admiral V'raeth ordered her forces. The first wave of the Altyr forces landed on Earth's surface. The soldiers, heavily armored and equipped with devastating energy weapons, quickly overran key locations. At least, that's what they thought. But Earth was unlike any other planet the Coalition had faced. The environment itself seemed to fight back. The local wildlife was unnaturally resilient, adapting quickly to the alien presence. V'raeth watched in astonishment as creatures, some no bigger than a human, launched surprise attacks on her troops, proving unexpectedly deadly. The humans, though, had an intimate understanding of their world's dangers. They knew how to survive in the harshest of environments, in ways the Altyr had never anticipated.
"We've underestimated them."
Shalith muttered, struggling to comprehend the situation.
"They're using the terrain against us."
As days turned into weeks, the Altyr forces found themselves bogged down. The humans didn't fight in traditional, organized ways. Instead, they adapted. They used guerrilla tactics, setting traps in cities, hiding in forests, and drawing the invaders into unfavorable terrain. Their weaponry seemed crude by galactic standards, small arms, explosives, and rudimentary drones, but the humans' ingenuity allowed them to make the most of their resources.
"I don't understand it."
V'raeth said as she watched footage of humans turning an abandoned warehouse into a fortified base.
"How can they adapt so quickly? Their technology is primitive, but they fight like they know this world, like they've lived through hundreds of wars."
Shalith, now clearly unnerved, responded,
"It's their environment, Admiral. Earth. It's a world built for survival. Everything about it Its predators, its diseases, its terrain, has forced its inhabitants to become flexible, to evolve rapidly.
No wonder they've survived this long.
The humans were using everything they had learned about surviving on Earth's death world to their advantage. The aliens were still unable to fully conquer the land. Time and time again, they would send in soldiers, only to have them retreat or be ambushed by the planet itself. Weeks turned into months, and the Altyr forces began to realize that something was terribly wrong. Their initial assumptions about Earth, about the humans, had been completely misguided. What they had thought was a world of underdeveloped beings struggling for survival turned out to be something much more complex. The humans weren't merely fighting to survive, they were fighting with a purpose that went deeper than the Altyr had anticipated. The truth was, the humans had been holding back. Their advanced technology, far superior to anything the Altyr had encountered, had been hidden under the veil of perceived weakness. As the Altyr forces continued their relentless push, they were met not only with the unyielding human spirit, but also with a revelation that would shake their very core. Deep within the fortified bunkers and hidden underground facilities, the humans had been harboring an arsenal of advanced technology. What the Altyr had perceived as primitive resistance was, in reality, a carefully orchestrated strategy. In the shadows, humans had developed weaponry and defensive systems that rivaled the Altyr's own. Energy shields that could withstand the most powerful of blasts, drones that could operate autonomously with incredible precision, and even bio-enhancements that gave human soldiers abilities that seemed almost otherworldly. The initial engagements had been a ruse, a deceptive ploy to lure the Altyr into a false sense of superiority. Now, as the true capabilities of Earth's defenders were unveiled, the invaders found themselves outmatched and outmaneuvered at every turn. The humans had not only adapted to the Altyr's tactics, but had anticipated them, using their knowledge and ingenuity to turn the tide of battle. This hidden arsenal, combined with the unwavering human spirit, created a formidable force that the Altyr had never anticipated. The balance of power shifted dramatically, and the invaders began to realize that their mission, once thought to be an easy conquest, was now a desperate struggle for survival. The humans had played their hand masterfully, revealing that their greatest strength lay not just in their technology, but in their ability to keep it concealed until the perfect moment. After a particularly brutal battle, V'raeth's forces suffered heavy losses. The humans had ambushed her troops using a tactic they'd never seen before, a combination of chemical warfare and terrain manipulation that left her soldiers scattered and vulnerable.
We cannot win this. They've turned the tables completely.
The humans are more resilient than we ever imagined.
V'raeth stood in silence, her mind racing. She realized something crucial. The Altyr had underestimated Earth, the humans. It was a planet designed for death. The challenges it presented, unpredictable weather, dangerous wildlife, and a history of constant survival against impossible odds, had shaped its inhabitants in ways that no other alien species could understand. The humans didn't just survive, they adapted, and the spirit that drove them was unmatched. It wasn't just about defeating the enemy, it was about enduring, pushing forward no matter the cost. The Altyr forces, despite all their might, were losing. Earth was winning not only because of advanced technology, but because the humans had learned to evolve faster than any invader could keep up. It was an ecosystem of survival, where only the strongest adaptations would thrive. And humanity, against all odds, had adapted perfectly to the harshest of worlds. V'raeth, exhausted and demoralized, made the decision that would change the course of her empire. She called a retreat, recognizing that continuing the invasion would only lead to more unnecessary casualties. The Coalition would have to face the reality that Earth was not a world to be conquered.
Tell the fleet to pull back. We will return to the Coalition. We will have to report that Earth is not to be trifled with. It's a world where death breeds resilience, and survival means victory. And we are not prepared to face that.
Log entry subject, Invasion of Earth. Final report.
Recorded by Admiral V'raeth, Altyr Coalition. Admiral V'raeth, we began our mission with confidence, believing Earth would fall as easily as the countless worlds we have conquered before. Our intelligence assured us that the humans were primitive and defenseless. Nothing could be further from the truth. What we did not foresee was the planet itself. Earth is a death world, a place where every living thing must adapt or perish. The humans have a strength we could never have predicted. They do not just survive, they adapt. They fight because they must. And they will never stop. We have retreated, but I am unsure whether this log will ever be transmitted. If it is, let it serve as a warning to all who seek to conquer Earth. We were not prepared for what it holds. There is no force more dangerous than a species that has evolved to survive. No weapon stronger than the will to endure. Earth is not a world to invade. It is a world to respect. I do not know if my report will ever be heard, but let it be known that we failed. We did not defeat Earth. Earth defeated us, and we may never return. End of transmission.